We are live. It is Thursday. This is the Rich Lieberman Bay Area Media Pulse. And when sometimes we talk about other things, sometimes we talk about things in the news. Speaking of which, so all over the headlines today, CNN laying off hundreds of people, CNN laying off staff, laying off everybody. Well, have you seen the product lately? Have you seen what CNN is doing, or better, more precisely, what they're not doing? When CNN first originated, when they first came on the air, and I remember it back in 1980, they were a 24-hour cable news network. That is their bread and butter. When shit happens, when God forbid incidents, terrorist incidents, and fires and calamities, all of the above, what do? You turn on your television, you look for CNN because they are great at breaking news. It's in their entire packages, their jingles, the breaking news. That's CNN. CNN, when you go off into different tangents, that is not your credo. Okay, have a panel show every now and then, but the public does not watch your panel shows. You have people that have been on there for years that you have tried to manufacture some interest amongst viewers. Obviously, the viewers do not buy it up to a point. Look just in the last few years. Don Lemon, a disaster. Don Lemon, a disaster. Chris Cuomo, annoying. Every now and then interesting, but overall a disaster. Nobody cares about Chris Cuomo. Even his new gig on that other network, basic failable ratings, nothing outstanding. He's failable. Nobody cares about Chris Cuomo. The only reason why Chris Cuomo got any headway at CNN was because of his brother, at the time the governor of New York. So they hired him thinking that he would get some good stuff from his brother. That didn't materialize. Even when his brother had issues, couldn't talk about it because of the conflict of interest. My point is, CNN is around to do what it does fairly well. Covers breaking news events. Everything else, nobody wants to watch. I've noticed in the evening, they have on this she's the woman that has no lips, Caitlin Collins, used to be the White House correspondent during the first Trump administration. I guess they think she's magical, she's special, whatever. Guess what? No ratings. And finally, look, used to like him a hell of a lot better. And I still do like him because he generally does a good job. I'm talking about Anderson Cooper. But even Anderson Cooper doesn't have any ratings. Wolf Blitzer, yesterday. My God, he looks like a reborn Henry Kissinger. But that was when Kissinger was about 70. Wolf Blitzer is yesterday. Nobody watches Wolf Blitzer. CNN, you do well when John King is on. Unfortunately, there's only an election every 4 years. CNN laying off hundreds and hundreds of people. Do CNN what you do best. Go back to being a news network, not an opinion network. Every now and then you want to talk opinion, have your shows on. Okay. Abby Phillip used to be a writer, columnist at the Washington Post. They have her on at night doing a panel show. Again, no ratings. Even though Abby Phillip is dynamic, Abby Phillip comes across as fresh, insightful every now and then. It's an interesting show, but nobody is watching. It's as evident as night is today. Laura Cates, the former prosecutor, who they turned from a guest into a moderator. Unfortunately, again, viewership is non existent. Nobody watches. How many years has it been like this? Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Anderson Cooper. They just don't get it. And they continue to put on these programs that have no interest whatsoever. They don't move the needle. And not only that, there is no interest. There is no whatever. It's as evident as I keep saying. They're finally laying more people off. Do CNN this. Probably will cost you cheaper too. You do what brought you onto the world, what brought you into the limelight as the first news network. Cover news. Every now and then, okay, you have on somebody and you do a panel show for about 10 minutes and do inserts. People don't buy the people that you're bringing on. It's very simple. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what's taking place. CNN, by the way, folks, when they first came here, they got their pedigree by doing news. Yes, breaking in to breaking news stories like the Iran hostage deal, like all these school shootings, like various incidents, 9/11. How many days and months and years did they run after 9/11 the same kind of 9/11 stories, which in a way was good because that is CNN's bread and butter. I'm not a consultant. I just react to shit. Like the fact that KCBS, an alleged radio station in San Francisco, is a joke, like most of the Bay Area media. But I look at news and I understand why people do not watch CNN anymore. And that is because they have stopped doing what they do at the very best. Fox News doesn't cover breaking news like CNN does. Same thing with MSNBC. Although MSNBC is starting to make inroads and is challenging CNN. Unfortunately, with MSNBC, they too forgot that they're here to fulfill a purpose. So, the basic message to the cable news network is do what you do best. And that's what you do. You cover school shootings and incidents and disasters and floods and hurricanes because that's what people react to. It's as simple as using butter on your toast if you like butter on your toast. That made no sense whatsoever, but you get my drift. CNN, cable news network. That's why you're here. Then CNN and Time Warner and your big, humongous company that keeps putting you on the air, despite the fact that nobody's watching you, you will fulfill your missive once again, and you will be the official presenter of breaking news. God forbid, a lot of it toxic and unsettling, but nevertheless, that's what CNN does. Give you some tips here, CNN. It's not going to cost you lots of money to hire the consultants. I could tell you this, and I ain't no consultant. If you do that, if you go back to what you're here to do, and provide breaking news for people who tune in to see that, you won't have to lay off people, hundreds of people. But I very much believe that that will not be the case and that CNN's going to keep doing what they do best and then go into another phase of putting panel shows on that nobody watches and nobody gives a damn about. And thus, we'll have, guess what? More layoffs. Interesting. But then again, smartness and non stupidity is apparently not a virtue at the CNN News Network.